Hello everybody, Neil here from the Four Corners, and welcome to a video centered around Ninjago's animation. Now, Ninjago's animation in the Season 8 through 11 period was something that was rapidly changing. During Season 8, the company that animated Ninjago from Seasons 1 all the way through 10, Film, went up in quality like 10 times. Season 8 showed levels of detail in the background especially that we've never seen before, and then in Season 9 you could really feel the grandness of Firstborn and everything. And then after Season 11, I guess the people who make Ninjago, they realized that they didn't really want to focus on making Ninjago look real, but instead focus on the things that Ninjago should be really good at and things that fans should be looking forward to even more. And that is expressions, designs on characters, and most importantly, the fight scenes, because a show about fighting should have fights that stand out, things that fans look forward to. Not to say that the fight scenes before the Season 11 period weren't good or anything, but now I actually look forward to them a lot more than I used to. But the reason we're talking about all this is not to see which side of the animation is better, that's completely up to your opinion, but to see how the elements have changed in terms of after Season 11 and before Season 11. First off, we have my favorite Ninja J's lightning powers, and in the Season 1 through 10 era, they pretty much look the same throughout, and there's nothing really to be changed about it. Kind of standard when it comes to visualizing lightning. And it was pretty cool, maybe not as much life to it as I would want it to. And then after Season 11, this new DHX animation company, they put a lot of budget into visualizing these new effects in a new way. Whether it be changing the background into energetic lines for some scenes, or in this case, changing the lightning into something that's so much more vibrant. It is a little bit more cartoony, but I mean, just take a look at it. And you won't believe how much After Effects and effects before the lightning go into actually making this look so vibrant. I mean, you could watch it in slow motion, and there's so much lines and effects that go into making Jay's lightning after Season 11 so cool and so vibrant. I'm definitely a fan of this element after Season 11. After that, we have Nia, who as of the time of this recording actually just had a full season about her powers. And I gotta say, the Seasons 1 through 10 era definitely made her powers look pretty good. And the reason for that is because water is part of a background effect, and if you're good at animating water in the background, then you'll probably be good at animating water being used by a ninja, because it's almost the same thing. I'm not too sure about how that works, but I'm pretty sure animating water is hard. I'm pretty sure the older animation company from Seasons 1 through 10 definitely nailed that. The newer animation company, WildBrain Studios, definitely suffered with water for a little while. I mean, just take a look at this scene where the water just kind of disappears. It doesn't soak out anywhere else. It just dissolves away. So they were kind of struggling with water at the start, and same goes for Nia. It looked very 2D. But once Seabound and the island came around, I mean, just take a look at that beautiful water. They really went the next level. And that really goes to show how much they're improving, and they're really proving to be the bigger company. Now let's go to Zane, Elemental Master of Ice. This is also something that's really based on how good the animation company is with backgrounds, because sometimes when Zane's making ice bridges, you can really see the detail in there. And in the newer animation company, when Zane's making ice, you can still see a lot of detail, but maybe not to the level of the older versions of his ice. As for when he's just shooting it like a ball, both of them seem to have sparkles, but the newer ones seem to have more sparkles, like they literally loaded it. So now his ice looks a lot more magical than elemental, and I'm not really too sure on how to feel about that. But again, Zane's powers is also something that is evolving a lot. It really does depend on how he's using it. Next up, let's go to Cole, who used to be one of my least favorite ninja because he had a boring color scheme, and they made his powers look so boring back then. He just kind of lifted rocks or made rocks with some green energy around it. But now take a look at it. Yes, Cole did have the orange arms before Season 11, but when one of Cole's main attacks is really pounding the ground or punching someone so hard with his orange arms, I think that's really seen after Season 11. They're just better with their camera angles, their speed of the cameras going around, and also the lighting with his orange powers. So that's that for Cole. Let's go over to Lloyd now. He started out with this ability to make a huge ball. It was kind of like a net-like ball all the way until Season 7. And I never really was a huge fan of that. And in general, I wasn't a huge fan of how Lloyd looked in the past either. And then after season 8, I think it was the coolest way to visualize Lloyd's power. It just went into the lines and then he would do spinjitzu. It was just pretty cool. I loved how it looked back then. And then after season 11, he kind of has this energy, which I guess is probably the best way to visualize Lloyd's power in between. It's definitely not a ball, but at the same time it's not linear lines. Last but definitely not least, according to LEGO sales reports, we have Kai. Kai's fire has stayed very consistent for a very long time. From the seasons 1 through 10 era, they're almost the same with a little bit more detail added here and there. And then season 11 had this kind of like doughy fire. It was almost like Play-Doh bouncing up and down. That was fine, so I don't really know which one I prefer more. The doughy fire fits the more cartoony aspect of season 11, but I also like the newer style. And we'll see how these elements in general evolve as Ninjago moves on in the future. However, that is all for this video, looking at how all the ninjas elements have changed over the past, especially through the season 10 through 11 era. And I'm really liking how the newer animation company is putting so much budget into creatively visualizing Ninjago, because it really is a magical show and it needs that kind of visualization in order to get those ideas out properly. Thank you for watching a Ninjago animation related video, and as usual, we'll all see you in the next one. Bye bye.